Hello, dear UPSC aspirants. I am Akriti Kanchi, your mentor from PrepIS, and we are together trying to make our newspaper reading very effective with respect to UPSC. When you read newspaper, you are studying, getting a lot of information in an organic manner, and you're not just mugging up the monthly current affair compilation. And today we have a lot of information important from prelims point of view and some very important from mains point of view as well. Right? So let's start with the front page of 10th March newspaper, right? So first news on the front page, like a direct question which can come into prelims. Madhav National Park in MP becomes India's 58th tiger reserve to get more big cats soon. So you should know there are 58 tiger reserves as of now in India. And now with Madhav National Park becoming a new tiger reserve, MP, Madhya Pradesh has total now 9 tiger reserves. Okay, so you should be knowing other 8 tiger reserves of Madhya Pradesh. Few I can mention for you, like Bandhavgarh, Kanha, from where cats are being introduced into this national park. Okay, there's Panna Tiger Reserve, so you should know a lot. There's a Sanjay Gandhi National Park, right? The center declared Madhav National Park as 58th. The newly added tiger reserve is also 9th from the state, as I told you. And this is Madhya Pradesh 9th Tiger Reserve, located in Shivpuri district in the Chambal region. So Madhav National Park or Tiger Reserve is located in Shivpuri district in the Chambal region of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, and it has a population of 5 tigers at present, including 2 cubs which were recently born. Okay, so in Shivpuri district, we have other very important national park called Kuno National Park, where African cheetahs were introduced, right? So they together want to bring more of ecological tourism. They want to bring to the this part of Madhya Pradesh, right? So you should have such information about environment. This is prelims fact, very important from environment current affair point of view. Let's move to the next article. Again, we have another article which is also talking about a tiger reserve, and to make a tiger reserve, a lot of resettlement of previous resettlement of the communities have to be done so that there is less man animal conflict. So this is happening in villagers face displacement as Odisha government's revives tiger reintroduction plan in Satkosia Reserve. So where is Satkosia Tiger Reserve? It is in Odisha state. You should know this. So this is important from prelims information. This is also important from mains point of view. GS3, conservation man-animal conflict. Since that issue has been talked, in this article, I'll just mention the important points of it, right? So Satkosia Tiger Reserve, it's a 35-kilometer drive from the boundary of the Tiger Reserve created to prevent human-wildlife conflict. So 35 kilometer around the Tiger Reserve, they are trying to, replace resettle the community from that place and move them to other places, right? So the Satkosia Tiger Reserve is one of 58 tiger reserves that we just read in the front page, right? Managed by National Tiger Conservation Authority. It is one of 4 now notified reserves that do not have a single tiger. Though it's a tiger reserve notified, but right now it doesn't have a tiger. It was there in 2007 census, but recently in 2022 census, there were no tigers. That's why the work has been started, and the Odisha government is keen on resuming the tiger reintroduction plan. The Satkosia Gorge Sanctuary and Baisi Pali Sanctuary, established in 76 and 81 respectively, were combined in 2007 to form Satkosia Tiger Reserve. So 2 wildlife sanctuaries were brought together to form one tiger reserve, covering big part of Satkosia. Satkosia is also a Ramsar site, very important from UPSC point of view. Okay, so this tiger reserve has a water body which is a Ramsar site. Everybody knows, not everybody, but yeah, UPSC sincere students who have studied good amount of information knows Ramsar sites are wetland classified as being of international importance. Okay, and it is home to very rich biodiversity. Okay. So right now they are resettling a lot of villages from there. So there are now this is mains oriented points that acts like right to fair compensation and transparency in land acquisition, rehabilitation and resettlement act 2013 needs to be taken care of. That though under for NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, and Wildlife Protection Act, tigers also need their space, and under this land acquisition resettlement act, the people, the communities also need to be compensated in right manner. Why there is issue? Because previous resettlement plan has not been amazingly planned, or have sometimes been poorly planned. That is why even now communities have some uncertainties and skepticism before moving out. Okay, so these are some main related points. Let's move to the next article. Yeah, now this article is important from UPSC point of view strictly, because there are a lot of schemes mentioned which has benefited women in the past and is benefiting now also. The empowerment of India's women with bold policies that has happened. We need to know how government has benefited us in past in enormous ways, and also some challenges. That is there. Though this article is not talking about the challenges. This comes under GS paper 2, welfare schemes for population by the center. What are all the schemes that this writer is mentioning? First scheme that benefited women enormously was Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, an initiative that was aimed, which is why it was benefiting women. It was not about just building toilets, but improving the dignity, the safety and the well-being of women across the country. So it was ending open defecation, which was having health benefits, but it was also saving women from safety issues, because when women went in the dark for defecation, they were attacked also a lot of times. Okay, so that way it helped women, right? So a lot of women have benefited from Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. There's an example in Rourkela. The Ma Tarini self-help groups. Self-help groups are in our syllabus. In Rourkela, the Ma Tarini self-help groups took the initiative to address the sanitation need of leprosy patients, a marginalized group often excluded from such efforts. They constructed community toilets with water, proper water management and wastewater management, composting activities. They helped people with leprosy, with leprosy disease, and there were women also. Okay, the other scheme which benefited women enormously was Jal Jeevan Mission, which introduced to ensure that every household had access to safe and reliable drinking water. We in urban places are very used to this point that that water is coming to our taps, but it is not so common in rural areas, and women have to carry waters for long distances, taking a lot of their productive time of the day, right? So prior to the mission, only 17% of India's rural households had tap water. But after this, a lot of families got tap water, and women was able to save their time, a long hours spent by women for fetching water. Now this time could be used for purpose like education, work, or other things that they could do with their human resource. Okay, helping to lighten the daily burdens that women face. That is very important, right? Studies show that access to water has led to 7.4% increase in women's participation in agriculture and allied work, especially in Bihar and Jharkhand, with historically low female labor force participation. So as water was introduced in their houses, they had time. Now they started working in other areas, increasing their family income. Right? Let's move to the next. The other part of this article. Yeah. So a lot of women in entrepreneurs are also being helped. So these were Swachh Bharat mission, self-help groups, Jal Jeevan mission. The other is startups. Okay, so 73,000 startups with at least one female director have been recognized under the Startup India initiative. Startup India scheme, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Right, so 68% of the loans were given to women. Very good, data. And they were also, so women have also benefited from the internet that has reached their houses under BharatNet and the Prime Minister's Wi-Fi access network interface, which is called PM Vani. Okay, which have brought high-speed internet to around 2 lakh villages. 2,14,000 gram panchayats and 2,50,000 Wi-Fi hotspots were installed. They have greater access to banking services, e-commerce platforms, because now they have time, now they have internet, and now they also have a bank account due to Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Okay, so women-led enterprises are also making inroads into e-commerce and in the government e-marketplace. Okay, GEM portal. Women entrepreneurs now make up to 8% of the total seller base. So women entrepreneurs are also selling a lot of products through GEM marketplace. Okay, so there is an example. Examples are it brings life to your answers in mains. Okay, so one example, Reena Kirar, an entrepreneur from Madhya Pradesh, runs the Girja Devi Jan Kalyan Samiti, a self-help group producing clothing, food products and household goods. Okay, so due to the internet and all of this, it became a bigger, a bigger company than just, a local company. So this Reena Kirar Girja Devi Jan Kalyan Samiti, you should know about this SHG. And the last in political, space that government has brought a lot of good things, that is 33 reservation for women in legislative bodies. This happened through 106 Constitutional Amendment Act recently in December, right? So 46% of elected, in December 2023 it was brought. So 46% of elected representatives in Panchayati Raj, which happened due to 73rd and 74th Amendment Act, right? So women in leadership brings policies which are better for human, which are better for families, for education and health. They are nurturers. So they address these kind of fields, okay? So, and women's participation in STEM field and sports to governance all have increased in quite a good number. You can quote this Mr. Modi's, our Honorable Prime Minister quote also, that in 2023 in G20 Ministerial Conference on Women Empowerment, Mr. Modi stated that when women prosper, the world prospers. Okay, you can use this quote while ending your answers. Let's go to the next article. So India, Mauritius, and a visit to deepen long-standing ties. This comes under GS2, India, Mauritius bilateral ties. Mauritius is at least our extended neighbor also, right? So he has quoted, there's an interesting prelims fact also. So right now, Mauritius Prime Minister, okay, who is Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam. His father, Sri Sivagu Sagar Ramgoolam, has led the struggle for his country's independence. So interesting fact is, the Sir Sivagu Ramgoolam, the father of current Mauritius Prime Minister, did the proofreading for Bose, Subhash Chandra Bose's, our freedom fighter, Subhash Chandra Bose, famous work, The Indian Struggle, and received an autographed copy in appreciation. So what prelims fact did you just gain from here? Subhash Chandra Bose work, The Indian Struggle. Okay, you should know about this. Now, India-Mauritius ties, nearly 70% of population of Mauritius are of Indian origin, which went there as indentured laborers by colonial rulers of India. 50% trace their ancestry to Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Few from Tamil, Telugu, and Maharashtra. It has other ethnic population from Africa and mixed population, but the 2% population, which is islands French population, are the most influential, right? So Indian Cultural Center in Mauritius is the largest of anywhere in the world and is the most active. Mauritius is part of African Union, okay, and has preferential trade agreement with African countries. You should know there is a double taxation avoidance agreement, DTAA, with India. So Mauritius has double taxation avoidance agreement with India. So it is a major channel for foreign investment into India. Okay, and also you should know about that India has set up a chain of coastal radar station redeveloping the Mauritian island of Egalega. So if this question comes, so Mauritian islands of Egalega has been redeveloped by India to serve as a joint surveillance facility, and that in return we are giving Mauritius access to Indian Navy's Information Fusion Center for the Indian Ocean region, IFC IOR in Gurugram. We are giving access to Mauritius. That's a very good complementarity. They have given us island. We are giving them access to our important data, right? So India's oceanographic survey ship, INS Sarvekshak, has just completed the survey of 25,000 square kilometers of Mauritius ocean territory. So these are some complementarities of India and Mauritius, okay? One small prelims fact about India and Iran. Donald Trump, who sabotaged the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, better known as Iran nuclear deal. Okay, so if the question comes in prelims, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action is related with which countries? You should know it was between US and Iran, which was taken back by Donald Trump in his previous regime. Okay, so it is being rediscussed and re-talked again. Let's move to the next article. So this article is also important. It talks about closing the gender gap in the higher judiciary. Judiciary has very few women. Okay, so this comes under GS2 paper syllabus of our judiciary and structuring and functioning of judiciary and issues related to it. So very bad diversity it is representing, right? The first woman lawyer of India was Cornelia Sorabji. You should know this data also. Cornelia Sorabji, who was entitled to practice in 1924, since a lot of women lawyers have come, but not sufficient. Okay, there remains a glass ceiling. The share of women in the high courts is only 14%. only 14%. What is the percentage of women? Around 50%, right? So 14% representation does not do the justice. The High Court of Uttarakhand, Meghalaya and Tripura have no women judge, and the Allahabad High Court, which is reputed and largest high court in the country, has only 3 women judges, which is just 2%. Okay, and also the average age of appointment of men is 51.8 years, and for women it is 53 years. So they are selecting women at more age, so they will have less chance to reach positions of seniority. Okay, so the only Gujarat High Court has a woman chief justice. Supreme Court's data is either not very good. They only have 2 women judge, Justice B.V. Nagaratna and Justice Bela Trivedi out of 34 sanctioned strength. Okay, which is not a very good thing. Out of the last 75 years, the Supreme Court has elevated 9 men from the bar directly to the Supreme Court, but only 1 woman has been elevated. So that's quite much of a discrepancy in the data, right? So the editor is saying it's not just the lack of merit in women, it is because of the systemic inequality, right? It is deep rooted with systemic inequality, and women are seen as inferior, which is there in the society. People talk like, "Acha, ye aurat bhi kar sakti hai, to hum bhi kar sakte hain," because but normally we both have biologically equal brains, right? So collegium system of appointment, which is first the problem is collegium system of appointment, which is opaque. So there is no transparency how they are doing it, right? So there are no clearly stated criteria for eligibility or merit. There is no transparency. The other problem is collegium is comprised of men only. So the people who are selecting are men, so they'll be thinking from men's point of view, right? So even when women names are recommended, it is sometimes rejected, right? So women representation in judiciary is key to ensuring that court represents the representative, the citizens, and hand down sound judgments. Okay, so there has to be focus on gender diversity while making appointments. Collegium has to have a transparent process and clear criteria of appointment. Justice Indira Banerjee, a former judge of Supreme Court, famously said in one of her interviews that she did not want any fanfare when she was appointed just because she was a woman. Okay, so this much is sufficient. Let's move to the next article, the road to safety. This comes under GS3, road infrastructure, GS2, health issue. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highway declared January 2025 as Road Safety Month. There are several road accidents happening in India, right? So globally, 11.9 lakh people die in India. Globally, 11.9 lakh people die in road accidents. Okay, in India also, road traffic crashes were 13th largest contributor to health burden. So it's not just mental and emotional pain. It is also a pain for health. It's also a pain for financial burden on the country and families. Okay, they become impoverished. So the United Nations Decade of Actions for Road Safety 2021-2030 aims to halve deaths by 2030. So you need to take some global best practices that is happening all around the world. Bogota, Colombia is doing really good from women's point of view and now traffic point of view. They are implementing 4 campaigns on speeding paired with enhanced enforcement operations to intensify speed management efforts. Also in India, Karnataka has adopted the global best practices. Let's go to the next article. As imports of semiconductor chips rise, India eyes local production. Semiconductor is the new future because it leads to all new technologies, AI, data, and everything. The machine learning. So GS3 economy, manufacturing, electronics industry. Okay, so World Economic Forum, our Minister of Electronics and Information Technology just announced that India's first domestically manufactured semiconductor chip will be rolled out this year, and India is aiming to try to reduce the import dependency on semiconductor chips. 5 manufacturing facilities are under construction for the manufacturing and assembly of semiconductor chips under Semicon India program. So Semicon India program was launched in 2021. Okay, aims to develop the semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem. There's a data here above. So it is saying in financial year 2024, the total value of monolithic integrated circuits imports was 1.5 lakh crore, 1.05 lakh crore, a 2000% increase compared with financial year 2016. Okay, so that's not a very good data for India, and India needs to fill in the space. The domestic manufacturers need to fill in the space. Let's move to the next article. National Education Policy 2020. GS paper 2 issues related to languages. So there are a lot of debates about languages, the 3 language formula. So National Education Policy 2020 replaces the previous education policy of 1986 and has stated that wherever possible, the medium of instruction for students in both public and private until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8, should be home language or the mother tongue, because under the for the research of NCERT, it has been seen that when children are taught in their mother languages, they learn the best. Okay, so the current three language formula proposed by NEP 2020 departed from the previously enunciated policy in 1968, which emphasized study of Hindi. Right, so NEP 2020 states that foreign languages such as Korean, Japanese, Thai, French, German, Spanish will also be offered at the secondary level. A lot of Indian languages are also being promoted, right? Like Bengali, Khandeshi, Tulu, Ladakhi, Pashto, Bhili, Dogri, etc. Okay, let's go to the next article. Are unique electoral ID numbers being duplicated? So this comes under GS paper 2, Election Commission. It's working. You should know about just this data, which we have read before also. The EPIC number is a 10-digit voter ID card number issued by the Election Commission to each voter. So the EPIC number is a unique alphanumeric code assigned to each registered elector. To prevent impersonation, the Commission said that the allotment of identical EPIC, the mistake happened because of the they were following some decentralized and manual mechanism, but now they have shifted to Aeronet platform, which will bring better data sets. Okay, let's go to the next article. Right, and we have the last article on the science page. This is a very important article. Indian team makes doubly secure ink to thwart counterfeiting. This comes under GS paper 3, Science and Technology, Development and their Application and Effects in Everyday Life. So scientists from INST Mohali and BARC Mumbai have made an ink which is using strontium bismuth fluoride nanoparticles. Strontium bismuth fluoride nanoparticles, which has been doped with lanthanides. Okay, so while existing fluorescent inks are visible only under ultraviolet or infrared light, but not both, but this ink will fluoresce in light from both parts of the spectrum, making it more secure. Okay, so security printing is very important, like invisible barcodes, digital watermarks and holograms. Nanoparticle interacts differently with light and magnetic fields and are chemically more reactive. Okay, so the discovery of way to manufacture semiconductor won 3 Nobel Prize in 2023, right? So in response, institutions constantly develop newer and better components that are even harder to falsify. So they are trying to, constantly counterfeiting. Counterfeiting is a serious threat to a range of enterprises. Spurious medicines look like a real thing, can delay proper treatment or even kill. So we need to differentiate. Normal people need to differentiate between spurious medicine and real medicine. Okay, so that's why packaging and quality packaging is very important. Branded goods have special packaging to prevent cheats from selling low quality replicas. So you should know the process, what is doping, you should know what is fluorescence. It is written in this article. You should know what is nanotechnology. It deals with material which is less than 100 nanometer. Okay, so that's it for today, 10th March. Thank you.